Hi guys, back again. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about the past few weeks of video before we start moving into evidence for Christ, for the resurrection, for God, for creation, for all the things that I'm going to be covering in the weeks to come. Because the things that I just talked about, they had a purpose coming to this. I talked about how the closer I got to God, the more I realized I'm a wicked man. That's the title of this whole thing. And then I talked about, I think it was a Christmas Carol, the joy and the the excitement of the redeemed life, and knowing that I was this wicked man, and now I've got this better life because I've given that over to Christ. And then I talked about the time that we lost our dog and all of the minute things that all came into play and came in perfect order to help us find him again. And if one of those things had not been in place, we would not have gotten him again. I also talked about when my mom passed away and how I prayed that she would not die. And then she did. And then I prayed when I found out that I had a child on the way, and I was not financially ready for this thing. I was praying, God, please don't let that be. Please don't let it be. Please let us be mistaken about that. And of course, we went to the doctor and found out we really were pregnant, and she was on the way. And turns out to be one of the greatest thing I think in my physical life that ever existed. And and how I prayed then that God would definitely give me this child, and how I saw the answers. If you want more details on it, you can go back and watch those videos. And then I talked about how the Bible tells us in Romans 8:28, all things work together for good. And I talked about how all things are also the best for us. Even when we say, somebody's passing away, well, at least we know where they're going. At least they're in a better place. At least they're not suffering. We discount the fact that what's happening here in this event, if it affects us as well, it's what's best for us as well. And that's what that verse implies. It says, it makes it clear. It doesn't really imply, that's a bit not the best way to say it. It says that all things work together for the good. So, and not just for that one person, but also this is a thing affecting me. So all of that came into play. And so I wanted to talk about how that applies to where we're going. Where we're going with this is evidence to give you reason, to give you surety that you can believe what you say you believe. And you don't have to, when people say, well, this and that, different things about you can't, there's not evidence of this, and you can't be trusting the Bible and all these kind of things. We're going to be covering that because there's tons of evidence that all of what's in the Bible is absolutely, positively true. But we've been told by YouTube and Hollywood and all these other places that it's not. And that's just completely false. And we're going to be covering that, going into that. But I didn't want to just go straight into documentary evidence or artifact evidence or logical evidence or scientific evidence or any of those kind of things without covering this first. Because the personal experience evidence is a valid thing. And I'll say this to make it clearer to you, because you may say that, well, I didn't have the personal experience, doesn't mean anything to me. But let me give you an example and make it a little bit more down to earth. I know that my wife loves me. I know that my wife loves me. And when she watches this video, she better like that I said that. But I know that she does. And let me tell you why. It's not because I have some hard, tangible evidence. It's because I know it. Now, if you say to me, well, how do you know your wife loves you? Well, I'll tell you. I can see it when she looks at me. She looks at me like she's the luckiest girl in the world. I have no idea why, but she does. When she touches me, I can sense and feel that different. When she takes my hand, we were in church yesterday morning, and she just reached over and put her hand on my leg, and I just sensed she loves me. I saw her up in the choir. I was sitting down. They were doing the announcements. I saw her up in the choir, and I looked up, and that feeling of somebody's looking at me. I looked up, and she was just looking at me, smiling, and I just knew. I know. Now I can have documentary evidence of this as well. We have a marriage license, we have a wedding certificate, I have Valentine cards where she's written things to me. I have documentary evidence. I have artifact evidence as well, things that she has done for me, gifts that she's given me. I have eyewitness testimony as well. We have people that have said to me, I can see you guys are wonderful. I love seeing y'all together. Y'all are just amazing together. I have people that were here at our wedding. I have artifact evidence of them giving eyewitness testimony hanging on my wall. Really good friends of ours gave us these gifts that we're actually hanging on our wall. As soon as you walk around, it's one of the first things you see is one of those things. These people can attest that they were here and saw this happen. So I've got all that kind of evidence. But those are not more powerful than the personal experience evidence that I just described. Those don't really even firmly say she loves me. It just says this event happened, and that there's eyewitnesses, and that there's documents that prove it, and there's artifacts that prove it, that it happened. But it doesn't mean that she loves me. She loves me, and I know it because I can feel it. And I know you guys, everybody here has felt love for somebody and from somebody in your lifetime. You may not feel like you felt enough love. You may not feel like you're feeling love right now. But in your lifetime, you've known love from somebody. And all you can say is that you just know you felt it. They can say it, but that doesn't mean it. They can write it down, but that doesn't mean it. They can buy you a gift, but that doesn't mean it. But you still knew it. You still know it. I still know it. I know she loves me. Well, see, outside of the Bible, outside of the documentary evidence that was written by other people in the Bible, outside of the logical reason that can prove that Jesus Christ died and rose again, outside of all those reasons, outside of that, I know it because I feel it. I feel the difference in my life. I feel the things he's done in my life. I've seen the evidence of the things that, like the past few videos I've shown you, different ways he has revealed himself to me. Now you may say, well, yeah, that's good for you. You've had that experience. I've not had that experience. You could say that. But my question is, have you sought that experience? So the Bible tells us in James 4:8 that if you draw near to God, he will draw near to you. So be honest with yourself. Have you drawn near to God? Have you sought him out? Now you could say, well, yeah, I don't even think it's real. There's nothing to seek out because it doesn't exist. You can say that. But there's so much evidence that you're wrong about that. So much evidence. And so I say, challenge yourself. I challenge you to try the personal experience evidence. Don't wait for me to start giving you documentary evidence. Don't wait for somebody to come in and say, well, you can't trust that. You can't trust this. You personally yourself say, God, I've never believed in you. I've been told by so many people that this is not true, that you don't exist. And I just haven't seen that in my life. But I want to know. And I want you to reveal yourself to me. Say that to him, meaning it. Say, I want to know if you're there. You can say that. If you're there, I want you to show yourself to me. That's what I did to me. That's what I did. There were several things I said, God, I've sensed you're there, but I want to know. And he showed me so many things, so many logical reasons, so many scientific reasons, so many documentary things, so many archaeological things. There's so many things that prove that God is real and that Jesus Christ lived and died and lived again. It's all there. I'm going to talk about it coming up. But for now, you be honestly in your effort to say, I want to know, and seek him. Don't say I want to know God, but then seek other reasons to prove he doesn't exist. Say, God, I want to know, and seek him out. I suggest starting with reading the Bible. Read the book of John and see if the description of Jesus there, not looking at what other Christians have done in past and how you've seen immoral Christians doing different things, that no Christian can truly hate other people. No Christian can truly con other people. I'm talking about people that you know. You know me. I'm a wicked man. And you know that if you know me well, you know that I've not been perfect, and most certainly am not still today. But you can say, I want to see what you have for me, God. Not what other people have made me believe or have given me evidence to this or whatever, or made me doubt. But say, God, I want you to show me that you're there. And read, like I said, read the book of John, read the other Gospels, and say, is this sound like a guy that I could listen to? Does this sound like a guy I could follow? Does this sound like a guy I could learn from? Because he is. All the stuff in the Gospels are eyewitness testimony, written within a few years after. I know a lot of people say, "Oh no, it wasn't until 100 years later." That's a mistake, and we're going to give you evidence of that coming up. This was written within just a few years. This was written by eyewitnesses. This was written by people that were surrounded by other people that could say, "That's not the way it happened. I was there. I saw it. It wasn't that way." So read them and just say, God, reveal yourself to me. Show me. I mean, because you know what? He revealed himself to me. And you know me, I'm just a wicked man. Give it a shot. Please.